Have you ever felt betrayed by what you eat? As if a food that promised health was actually silently sabotaging your well-being, especially after 60. Today, the dairy aisle is a minefield of empty promises. Yogurts that seem harmless, with vibrant labels and vitality claims, hide a disturbing reality. They're not the living food your grandparents knew, but rather a domesticated version, full of sugars, gums, and cultures that die before they reach where they matter. This subtle change in your morning bowl could be the cause of persistent bloating, a cloudy mind, and that fatigue you attribute to aging. But what if the fault isn't your body, but what you're putting in it? What if what you think protects your heart actually burdens it? How did the industry turn the millennial ally into an imposter? And why might light yogurt be the hardest on your health? Discover the 4 hidden enemies in your morning coffee and how to reverse this silent betrayal, one pot at a time. Centuries ago, yogurt was never dessert. It was preservation and renewal in a jar. Villagers allowed milk to ferment slowly, letting friendly bacteria multiply and pre-digest the nutrients. That process gave the body help, not stress. Modern production reversed the story. Factories now chase shelf life and sweetness instead of vitality. So what began as a living ally turned into a tamed product, clean in appearance, but tired in purpose. For individuals over 60, that shift matters deeply. Metabolism slows, muscle repair depends on steady fuel, and the gut becomes more sensitive to imbalance. When natural fats disappear, blood sugar rises faster. When live cultures vanish, inflammation lingers longer. You may feel it as bloating, fogginess, or afternoon fatigue, symptoms often blamed on age, but rooted in what's missing from your breakfast. Balance, not restriction, is the quiet key to lasting strength. Picture 2 mornings. One person opens a cup labeled low-fat fruit delight. Another spoons plain whole milk yogurt with a bit of honey. By noon, the first feels hungry again and oddly tense. The second feels calm and grounded. Same aisle, same category, completely different biology at work. The body doesn't want fewer calories, it wants nutritious ones. Real food moves with you instead of against you. The gut is more than a pathway. It's a conversation between your food, your microbes, and your energy. Additives crowd that conversation, while real fermentation restores it. Studies show that when beneficial bacteria return, energy steadies, digestion eases, and even sleep becomes deeper. None of this requires a miracle, only better choices. Healing after 60 begins not with medicine, but with understanding what feeds your internal garden. So before we start our countdown of yogurts that quietly work against you, take a slow breath and remember your body isn't failing, it's adjusting. It's waiting for familiar foods to feel familiar again. The right yogurt can still be that signal of renewal you look forward to each morning. Up next, we begin with number 4 on our gut-destroying list. A yogurt that looks bright and heart-friendly on the outside, yet hides the very imbalance it claims to fix. It's time to separate clever marketing from quiet nourishment, 1 spoon at a time. Number 4 on our gut-destroying list might surprise you. It's the low-fat fruit yogurt that has worn a health halo for decades. The cup looks innocent, covered in berries and bright hearts, but the secret lies in the word low-fat. When manufacturers removed natural cream, they also removed satisfaction. To make up for lost flavor, they filled the gap with sugar or artificial sweeteners. Your tongue gets sweetness, your body gets stress. Blood sugar spikes quickly, then falls, leaving you tired and hungry again. For individuals over 60, that repeated crash weakens muscles, slows recovery, and makes energy feel unreliable. What was meant to protect your heart ends up overworking it.
Real yogurt's natural fat doesn't harm you. It helps you absorb calcium and protein at the pace your body prefers. When fat disappears, those nutrients rush through before they're properly used. The gut, forced to digest faster, becomes irritated. Over time, constant irritation means inflammation, and inflammation means slower movement, weaker bones, and restless sleep. A balanced breakfast shouldn't feel like a roller coaster. The best rule to remember: The more light the label sounds, the heavier it tends to feel later. Next, at number 3, we meet another sneaky culprit, the flavored Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt earned its reputation as a superfood, but store versions often lose what made it special. Thick texture doesn't always come from straining, it comes from gums and additives. And those silky fruit layers? They're mostly sugar syrups dressed up with color. The real Greek yogurt, made traditionally, holds its shape because of time, not chemicals. When speed replaces patience, your gut pays the price. Flavored Greek yogurt can also overload your system with protein powders added during processing. For older adults, extra protein sounds helpful, but can actually strain the kidneys when hydration is low. Add artificial sweeteners to the mix, and you have a product that inflames instead of restores. Many people feel bloated or stiff after eating it and assume it's just age. It's not. It's the gut reacting to an ingredient list that reads more like a lab note than food. If you've ever wondered why you felt heavy after something that promised to be light, this is why. Those synthetic thickeners confuse digestion and mute the good bacteria you need most. Over time, your body becomes less responsive to real food because the microbiome, the living part of you, has fewer allies left. It's like planting flowers in concrete and expecting roots to thrive. The lesson is simple. Yogurt shouldn't be a science project. It should be milk, culture, and time, nothing else. When the process is rushed, your gut loses its rhythm. When it's respected, everything from appetite to clarity improves. Knowing this helps you shop differently, not fearfully. You begin to read past slogans and listen for honesty. Now that we've unmasked 2 of the most common imposters in the dairy aisle, it's time to reveal the next 2, one frozen and one high protein. These sound modern, but quietly drain the very vitality they advertise. The deeper we go, the clearer it becomes. Comfort isn't lost with age, only misplaced in the wrong container. At number 2 on our list sits the so-called high-protein yogurt, often wrapped in silver labels that promise fitness and fuel. It looks modern, sleek, and strong, but what hides beneath is a formula built for shelf life, not biology. These cups contain milk protein concentrates, stabilizers, and sweeteners that outnumber the living cultures real yogurt should have. Protein is valuable when it comes from natural fermentation, but the kind added in factories arrives without balance. For individuals over 60, that imbalance can feel like sandpaper. Too rough, too fast, too dry. Artificial sweeteners meant to keep sugar low often silence the good bacteria that protect you. They act like mild antibiotics, shrinking the diversity of your microbiome. You might notice changes in digestion, more gas, or unpredictable hunger. Many people mistake those signs for aging, but they're simply the body defending itself. The gut needs variety, not intensity. Feeding it with industrial mixes is like watering a garden with soda. It looks wet, but nothing grows. When you're over 60, your kidneys also process protein differently. Excess powders without hydration can leave you feeling tired instead of strong. The truth is, the body values rhythm more than record numbers. Traditional yogurt supports that rhythm by blending protein, calcium, and good fats in a natural ratio. Synthetic versions ignore that music. They hit one note loudly and forget the melody.
Finally, at number 1, we reach the frozen yogurt, the most charming trap of them all. Cold, colorful, and presented as guilt-free joy, it hides its emptiness behind the chill. Once milk is frozen and pasteurized, the friendly bacteria that make yogurt alive are mostly gone. What remains is a dessert in disguise, sweet, smooth, and lifeless. It feels refreshing, but feeds the wrong kind of microbes, the ones that thrive on sugar and leave your gut more fragile with each scoop. The danger isn't in a single treat, but in habit. Frozen yogurt becomes a weekend ritual, then a comfort,
then a routine. For the aging gut, repetition of empty sweetness means chronic inflammation and restless nights. People wonder why their joints ache or their energy fades, not realizing the problem might start in that cheerful swirl. It's not about guilt, it's about awareness of what you're really nourishing. Understanding these four imposters doesn't mean abandoning yogurt. It means reclaiming it. You deserve the real version, the one that still works with your biology. The next step is to turn toward the yogurts that truly heal, the kinds your grandparents might recognize, slow in process and rich in life. Each one brings back a piece of balance lost to convenience. Up next, we'll explore the four yogurts that still keep their promise, beginning with one that goats have quietly perfected for centuries. Smaller, gentler, and often overlooked, it may be the most forgiving friend your gut could ask for. Number 4 on the good list is goat milk yogurt, a quiet classic making its return. Long before cow's milk filled refrigerators, people in mountain regions relied on goats for gentle nourishment. Goat milk forms smaller fat globules and softer curds, which the aging stomach can digest with less effort. For individuals over 60, that difference can feel like night and day. Less bloating, more comfort, and nutrients that truly stay with you. Research shows that minerals in goat milk, like calcium and magnesium, are absorbed more efficiently because of its unique structure. The flavor is tangy, slightly earthy, and naturally rich, needing little else. Goat milk yogurt also supports the good bacteria that keep your gut balanced. Its fermentation process creates a softer acidity that soothes instead of irritates. When you add a drizzle of honey or a few berries, it becomes a meal that feels indulgent yet healing. In many Mediterranean villages, elders still enjoy a bowl of goat yogurt at dusk. They don't call it a health hack, they simply call it dinner. That simplicity is the secret. The fewer the ingredients, the closer the food is to what your body still understands. At number 3, we find plain Greek yogurt, the kind strained slowly until it holds shape on the spoon. Real Greek yogurt is dense because time removed the excess water, not because additives made it thick. The result is a balanced mix of protein, natural fat, and living cultures that cooperate instead of compete. For individuals over 60, that cooperation means calmer digestion and steadier energy. It's not the flavoring that matters, it's the fermentation. Greek yogurt's probiotics, such as lactobacillus and streptococcus species, are natural allies for older digestion. They help break down lactose, improve nutrient absorption, and even support immune function. And here's a bonus. The natural fat present in whole milk Greek yogurt helps your body absorb vitamin D and calcium more effectively. Instead of fearing fat, think of it as the steady fuel that keeps your systems communicating. The gut doesn't want extremes, it wants honesty and time. For many people, switching from flavored to plain Greek yogurt feels like rediscovering a lost taste of calm. Add a few nuts, a slice of fruit, or a pinch of cinnamon, and you'll find comfort in its quiet richness. It doesn't need neon colors or dessert-level sweetness to satisfy you, it just needs patience. The body recognizes that difference instantly.
It's the kind of satisfaction that lasts into the afternoon, without the crash that sweetened versions bring. Both goat and Greek yogurts share a principle older than modern nutrition. They work with your body, not against it. They offer steady support for digestion, bones, and mood, without chasing trends or extremes. When you begin to choose foods that move with your biology, aging starts to feel less like decline and more like alignment. Every calm breakfast becomes a quiet act of self-respect. Up next, we'll meet the final 2 yogurts on our good list, Kefir yogurt and homemade natural yogurt. These aren't just foods, they're living tools that can help your gut rebuild from the inside out. Together, they show how ancient methods still hold the blueprint for modern longevity. Number 2 on our good list is Kefir yogurt, the ancient drink once called the yogurt that never sleeps. Unlike ordinary yogurt, Kefir keeps fermenting slowly even after refrigeration, producing up to 30 strains of beneficial bacteria and yeasts that work together like a small orchestra. For individuals over 60, that diversity is gold. It helps rebuild the microbiome that time naturally thins. Each sip fills the gut with life, supporting digestion, immunity, and even mood. It's lightly tart, slightly effervescent, and alive in every sense of the word. Kefir doesn't just pass you through, it colonizes. That means its cultures stay and multiply, building long-term balance rather than quick relief. People who drink it daily often notice steadier mornings, calmer stomachs, and better sleep. The body responds because it recognizes something familiar, a living food instead of a processed promise. For anyone who's faced years of digestive ups and downs, kefir can feel like the body's sigh of relief. Think of it as restoration in a glass. And finally, number 1, homemade natural yogurt, the simplest, purest, and most powerful form of all. With only milk, a starter culture, and patience, you create a living food that adapts to your rhythm. Homemade yogurt often contains far more live bacteria than commercial brands, simply because you control the fermentation time. The longer it rests, the tangier the flavor, and the richer the probiotic life inside. Each jar becomes its own quiet ecosystem of renewal. For older digestion, that living freshness makes all the difference. It supports nutrient absorption, calms inflammation, and reinforces bone strength without extra additives or sugar. When you make it yourself, you know exactly what's in it and what isn't. There's a quiet pride in that process, one that feels both old-fashioned and timeless. You don't just eat yogurt, you nurture it, and it nurtures you back. Together, kefir and homemade yogurt remind us that longevity isn't about perfection, it's about participation, letting nature's small rhythms help your body find its own again. Age doesn't erase that capacity, it simply asks for clearer choices and slower steps. Each spoonful of real yogurt or sip of kefir is a vote for vitality, not nostalgia. The energy you thought was gone is often waiting behind a better habit. So, as we close this journey through the yogurt aisle, remember, comfort, not cure. The right foods don't fight your body, they listen to it. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Just replace confusion with clarity, one cup at a time. Your gut will notice, your mornings will thank you, and your strength, quietly, will return to where it's always been, within reach. If this story brought you insight or a moment of calm, share it with someone who could use the same. Then join us for the next chapter, where we'll explore simple foods that keep your mind sharp and your spirit steady. Until then, enjoy the quiet ritual of real yogurt, one small comfort at the end of the day.